Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. So nice to see you here. Today, we are going to be covering the 7 ways to boost your energy. If you had to ask me, Pooja, which is the most common question you get on a weekly basis, I would have to say it would be about energy, energy, energy. So I feel like this is one of those topics that was truly needed, and I'm so glad that we are covering it today. Now, I'm going to talk to you about energy in some forms which are obvious and in some forms that I'd like you to work deeper on. The obvious suggestion is going to be, of course, around your physicality, and then we'll move into something deeper that creates more energy within you. So, the first point that I want to cover out of the 7 is making sure that you're getting enough sleep. The world that we live in today, a lot of us are not deeply aligned or connected to our own circadian rhythm. There are days when we are sleeping early, then there are days when we are sleeping late, there are days when we wake up early, there are days when we are waking up late. The more we are having different timings on a daily basis, the more our body is having to use up its energy to adjust. The more you can start to sleep at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every morning, the more you bring your energy back in balance. So, one of the things I'm going to definitely say is that whatever it is you are following, make sure you start to have a routine around that. So, if I, for me, I like to go to bed by 8:39. I like to be sleeping by 9:30. I like to wake up anytime between 4 to 4:30. I don't like to put an alarm clock. I want to wake up to the naturalness of knowing that my sleep is complete. So see if you'd like to try that if you're an early morning person. If not, follow your own rhythm, but try to stick to having it at the same time every single day. You will start to see a shift in your energy. You will feel less exhausted and especially less fatigue after lunch, which tends to happen when we've not had enough sleep. The second thing that I want to cover is movement. You know this, that half of the world's problems would finish if we landed up moving the amount we used to move till 50 years ago. Today, thanks to convenience, life has just become so sedimentary. We have started to just sit a lot more. So, learning to bring in movement in your life, I'm not even going to be talking to you about exercise here. Exercise for weight loss, exercise for muscle strength, exercise for fitness, exercise for flexibility, all of that helps energy. But can I tell you here, I'm specifically talking about movement. Every hour, by the hour, are you spending 2 3 minutes moving your body? Can you go and get water for yourself? Can you go make coffee for yourself? Can you just go for a small little walk around your house? Can you get up from that chair? I think it's so important to bring back movement. Yesterday, I have just come back from a trip and I was unpacking my suitcase, and it took me about an hour to put all of the things back into my cupboard, which I normally delegate to some staff of mine. And I felt so good. Not only it felt clutter freeing in my mind, but I felt that the physical activity of removing everything, putting it in my cupboards, bending down to put my shoes, it all really just set me up for success. So I'm going to encourage you all to really start to help your staff at home by doing a little bit of their work, in the process bringing back the movement that we have delegated outdoors. So see if you can bring movement into your life. And if you love Bollywood music, one of my suggestions is at least dance to one song every day. Not only will it help your mental health, but it also just helps to get your chi flowing in the body, the energy chakras opening up. Third is, of course, hydration and diet. You need to look at both. If we can start to treat our bodies, I've just come back from a wellness retreat. So right now I'm all templish about my body. I'm like, I'm not going to put anything in my body. I don't know how long this will last. I'm hoping at least 3 months. But for now, I'm really feeling very conscious of the fact that, you know what, I don't want to put anything in my body that is not, that's processed or it's packaged or it's just, I just don't want to. I want to choose the right things, because I was just looking at my mother-in-law this morning, and she's turning 70 this year, and the level, I mean, she can do push-ups, she can do pull-ups, she can run. You go on a holiday with her, you will forget that you are the one who's younger, because she runs at a speed after my nieces and nephews who are really small. it's just amazing. She's an inspiration. And so on that note, I do want to bring in here that, you know what, we all need to look after our health in a manner that 20 years from now, who we are thanks our 40-year-old self, that, or a 20-year-old self, whoever you are 20 years from now, whatever age you are, you look back and thank that 20-year-old self of yours and say, you know, wow, I'm so glad that I didn't let this go. Because maybe at this point, whatever age you are, you don't really need it as much, but this energy is going to keep on reducing. The vessel of energy that is carried in your body is going to keep on reducing over the years as you go about. So just be very, very conscious of hydration as well as your diet. Another thing I'm going to highly recommend is understanding your rhythm of energy during the day. Some of us, when we wake up in the morning, we are highly energized, and that's the most beautiful time to attempt all your frogs. Brian Tracy has this beautiful book called Eat That Frog, which means do the most difficult thing of the day in the first half of the day. Now, if you are someone who's energized in the first half of the day, that's a beautiful thing to do. However, if you are someone who wakes up like Rat Ki Rani, or you know, you're someone who after everyone goes off to sleep is where all of your creative juices or your energy gets pumped, then keep the hardest thing for that time. Understanding your flow of energy in the day is so important. Like for me, I know that all my creative work has to be done between that wake up time of 4:30 to 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, when the world gets up and people have so much to ask me, my creativity actually settles down, and that is my time to do delivery. I love dividing my days into three parts, which I call the prep, the delivery, and the rest. And I would love for you to start to look which are your favorite time of the day to prep. Like I like to use my mornings for that, and then my whole day for delivery, and then evenings for rest. You can also look at, you know, I had a client who had come in who has a very young baby, I think a 6-month old baby, and she would keep her awake the whole night. So at 6 o'clock, when most people are getting energized to start the day, she would actually hand over her baby to the nanny and then go and sleep for 3 hours so that she can recuperate from the whole night of staying awake. So it's not, there's no right answer here. You just have to find your own flow. For me, after lunch, especially, there is a certain amount of time that I like to take rest, and I don't like to put any appointments, because I know that those 30 minutes of a quick nap or a quick rest helps me in doing the second half of the day in a better manner. So I'd love for you to start to just understand your rhythm a lot more. Fifth thing that you can do is take breaks in between. You know, there's a whole thing called the Pomodoro technique, which is you work for 45 minutes and then you take a break for 15 minutes, then you work for 45 minutes, then you take a break for 15 minutes. You do 3 sets of Pomodoro, you will see your creativity and your productivity go up tremendously. I love to do that. 15 minutes of checking the phone, walking in, getting my coffee, doing chit chat with whoever is in the vicinity, and then coming back to my desk for another 45 minutes of full focus with my phone far away. So if you can start to create that, you will start to see that your energy flow and your energy management will be so much better. There is this one place in my house on the sofa that I rest till the time I've not completed my work day. I don't go sit on that sofa, because I know the minute I sit on that sofa, I have the habit of then opening up YouTube, social media, scrolling, wasting time. That's lovely for my rest time, but if I do it in the middle of the day, I know I'm ruining my entire energy for the whole day of how I have planned myself. So I highly recommend have different parts in your house for different energy level work. So if you are resting, that's a different part of your house. If you're, especially post COVID, for those of you who don't have offices like me, I highly recommend create different pockets in your house. Otherwise, if you already have an office to go to, then great. Do not carry your time wasters into your work life, and don't bring work home. When you come home, then be with your time wasters so that you can cope with all that's going on. And sometimes we need a little bit of mindlessness to return back to being normal. When we, especially on days when we've been highly productive, it's good to sometimes have those 20-30 minutes of mindless reading or mindlessness of watching something. I feel it helps me at least recuperate so much better. One of the best ways to actually build massive energy in your body is to have a solid morning routine. I can't tell you how important this has been in my life. Especially, my husband is a golfer, so we tend to wake up a little early, because of which I've been able to add this whole morning routine, which I call savers. I learned it from a man called Hal Elrod, where S stands for silence, A stands for affirmation, V visualization, E exercise, R reading, S scribing. And I do these six activities every morning, and I feel like the kind of energy I carry in the day just because of this solid morning routine. Some people speak about, as soon as you get up, make your bed. That really helps in aligning you into the focus of how your day is going to go. Another thing I love doing is gratitude, because I feel like that really helps me become emotionally strong. So savers, gratitude, and making your bed, you do all of this, you will start to see a different energy coming from a different energy source. What do I mean when I say that? There is one energy that comes from eating and exercising and your hydration, but there's another energy when you get connected to the divine. And I feel like those people who have a solid discipline or a solid morning routine, they start to connect a lot more to the divine, taking me to the last point for today, which is treat whatever you do as God's work. And then know that because you are doing God's work, you are now connected to source power. Source power is like sunlight. When the sun comes up in the morning, from the flowers to the plants to the organisms, everything comes awake, right? The same way, when we start to believe we are doing, there was this story about this different laborers, who one person, when he was building a temple, somebody asked him, what is it that you do? And he said, I lay bricks. The other person said, I'm making a building. The third person said, I'm making the house of God. They all three were doing the same work, but their why was so different. And when you create a massive why, when you create a destination for yourself that feels and gives you a feeling of importance of what it is that you do, I feel like you get connected to source power. A lot of times when I feel depleted, I just sit back and just think, why has God put me on earth? What was it that he wants me to do? And the more I get connected with my mission, with my deeper purpose, with my dharmic journey, the more I feel so much more energy in my body to want to do that. So every time I feel stressed, I've started to replace it with using the word divine pressure. God is putting divine pressure on me, for I'm doing divine work. And I feel like that's really helped me maintain the level of energy that I like to live my life by. See which of these points you're already doing, and notice which are those one, two, or three things that you can introduce into your life. Because remember, at the end of the day, we can only achieve as far as our energy takes us. If you want to become a high achiever and you are right now feeling lazy, you're tending to procrastinate, you're feeling a lot of doubt, you're feeling a lot of fear, that all could just be because your energy in your body is not going the right way. Another thing that, as I go, I want to speak to you about is just start to do a lot of tapping. If you don't know anything about tapping, just Google tapping, and there are just a few points on your body that when you tap, your energy meridians start to work the right way. One of the things that I've learned is just take the four fingers of your right hand and just tap the left hand edge. So where your small finger is, that is the edge of your hand. So what I'd love for you to do is, where the palm ends is where I would love for you to just take your four fingers and tap it 30 times. For me, that's one of the ways I say knock, 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 so that I can wake up all the different energy meridians in my body. Use whatever you feel connected to, leave whatever you don't feel connected to, but my suggestion is, every single day, make sure you show up in every room in the highest energy. Because the one thing I know about life is that successful people are normally the most energized people on the planet. There is a whole science that says they walk faster, they wake up earlier, and generally their energy in every room will be the highest. And when your energy is the highest, it's not the person who has the maximum aggression that wins the negotiation. It's the person with the maximum maximum energy and presence that actually wins every battle. So start to show up with a lot of energy that will help you keep you present wherever you are, because remember, to stay present you need energy, and the more present you are with life, the more of a winner of life you become. On that note, thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next time. Do share this podcast with anybody you think will find this useful. All right, bye. Ciao.